What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another episode of ACNH Trends, this time talking about cottagecore and fairycore. This is a series where I take some of the most popular trends in Animal Crossing New Horizons and show you guys how I designed them myself, and then we're gonna go explore how other people have designed around these trends. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Okay, so to start this off, I feel like I have to explain to my best ability what I think cottagecore and fairycore is. I apologize in advance if I get this wrong, because I feel like cottagecore and fairycore have like a dedicated fan base that has like a community that will get upset if you don't represent them the best way. But when I think of cottagecore, I think like a mix of like Lord of the Rings with like Snow White, and it has a lot to do with like if I was in a forest and I saw like a cottage, and it has to do a lot more with like natural woods and like pottery and stuff like that. And then fairycore is more like if I were in a setting more like Cinderella or like Sleeping Beauty. It has a much more like fantastical element to it. So those are the two definitions that I had in mind when I was designing around these two things. So I'm sorry if I don't get it exactly the right way, but I did try my best. So as you can see here, we're right in front of my house, and I did design it like a cottage. So I customized my house so it looks much more in line with the surrounding area, and you can do this after you upgrade your house a bit. So you can change the doors, you can actually move your mailbox. I just left it in its default position, and then you can change like the color of the roof, the type of roof, all that good stuff. So this is my fairycore section, and then I'll show you what my cottagecore section looks like. When I was thinking of this area, I had a color scheme of white and yellow in mind. So you can see here I have a lot of flowers, which is a trait that I realized that is pretty much essential when it comes to cottagecore and fairycore. So a lot of flowers, and I also have a lot of custom design paths. As you can see, I really love this design path. I will share it in the description box with you guys, but it's like a wood path, circular wood path. I realized that when it comes to like cottagecore and fairycore, it has to do a lot with like randomness to give a lot of naturalness to the scenery. So as you can see, there's a bunch of random paths laid out. Flowers are pretty much scattered everywhere. With the terraforming of the rivers, I made sure that it's as random as possible, and they're pretty much all zigzagged instead of like a much more like formulaic river path. I did notice that a lot of cottagecore layouts have log stakes, so I put a few over here. And other furniture items that I thought would fit this kind of setting was this signboard, this wooden signboard, the garden furniture items, and then I customized them to be white. I have stuff like a swinging bench, street lamps, and this path right here, this big circle, is actually the path that is in game, but I laid them out and then curved them so they're in circles now. You can also see here I laid out some like star fragments. These look really nice at night, so if you like scatter them around, they'll give like a really nice glow. Another thing I noticed is a staple of cottagecore is cedar trees over the fruit trees, and I'm guessing it's because it makes the surrounding look much more like you're in a forest, frolicking in a forest, and you come across like a cottage. That's like the vibe it gives to me, at least. I'd say the most important part about all this is definitely the path. You definitely want like very nice looking path, ones that look more scattered. And as you can see with my path, it's like a wooden path that has like different like dots everywhere, so it looks more like random and scattered. And I've seen a lot of people use like flower paths and like a mixture of stone paths, so definitely want to look for some nice design paths that fit the theme. And then the second most important thing I'd say is the randomness with terraforming. So the cliffs in the back, the river layout, all that just like adds a much more like sense of naturalness to the setting. But yeah, I imagine this section to be like my fairycore section. And if we go over here to the right, this is supposed to be my more cottagecore section. Oh, I just got a new butterfly. Cool. So if my left section was the fairy core section, this was supposed to be more my attempt at cottagecore. And again, I envision it to be much more about like natural woods and darker woods, which is why I have furniture that's not customized. It's much more like dark wood. And if you look at the paths here, I have different kinds of paths instead of just a wood one. I have this really nice circular one, the bigger stone one, which I've seen a lot of people use for cottagecore. I think it's a really popular design. I have some stone paths, and I still have the wooden path I used before. And then to add more to the randomness of this section, I added some various types of flowers with different colors, added some bushes, and again, the rivers are pretty much just flowing in whatever direction. So yeah, I was just thinking of like furniture items that really would fit this theme, and a lot of like DIY items that are just made up of wood I feel like would fit cottagecore and fairycore. So like this clothesline, the log furniture like the bench and the table, the bucket, the well, all of that really like contributes to the essence of cottagecore in my opinion. I didn't want to add a path that would go straight and then up, so I tried my best to like make it diagonal right here. And you can also see with this path that I'm mixing the wooden path with the stone path this time. So yeah, it's like a lot about just randomness and making spaces feel cozy, I guess. Like I really like the look of like cottagecore and fairycore, mostly because everything looks so packed. That's just my personal taste. I like it when designs look really packed and there's a lot going on, because it just fills up the space really nicely, and it's all about that natural feel, you know. I know I said natural like a million times. This isn't necessarily like within my cottagecore design, but I moved my cafe up here to this like nice little deck, and you can overlook the beach. Yeah, anyways, this was my best attempt at fairycore and cottagecore. I feel like I'm still pretty noob at these designs, just because I don't know, there's just not as much like clear direction of what to build. Like I feel like if you wanted to build like a market, you know which items to pretty much use, but I feel like there's a lot more free reign when it comes to cottagecore and fairycore, a lot more items available to still fit the theme. Yeah, I had a lot of fun designing this though. Definitely one of my favorite themes to design around. They're two very beautiful and pretty concepts to try in this game, and I can totally see why it's so popular these days. But anyways, now that I've showcased my sections of fairycore and cottagecore, we're gonna go over to other sites and see how other people have been designing these concepts. So I actually have a few videos already bookmarked for cottagecore and fairycore, and this one's from Maria's Crossing. So you can see there's a lot of like scattered paths everywhere. A lot of terraforming with the cliffs and waterfalls. And it looks like she actually made this as the entrance to her island, which is so cool. I love cozy spaces like this. Yeah, awesome airport entrance design. Here's from Sophie Crossing, and she applied cottagecore concept around her beach area, this like peninsula that's jutting out. Again, it has to do a lot with like the randomness of terraforming, a lot of like flower paths. Yeah, I just love how you can make such a small section of your island look just like so pretty with the elements of cottagecore. This one is from Here with Nessa, and she used the mushroom furniture series for this section. Oh, that's really cool how it leads into the plaza. When you mix in the terraforming with like these wooden inclines, it just makes such like a compact space look even better. I also found this huge thread from Crossing Ryan that has like a bunch of paths for designing around cottagecore. It's literally a thread for custom designs for cottagecore, so I'll leave this link in the description box, but it's filled with like signs, paths. There's even like cottagecore clothing in it. If you have like a forest of trees, these designs are really nice for it if you put it on a wooden sign like this. Alright, I'm gonna look up cottagecore Animal Crossing. She has like a section for a picnic reading area, I think. It's just so cozy, you know. Some very nice terraforming right here in the back. This person's shots are really nice. It looks like she's in autumn. And I feel like autumn is the perfect season for cottagecore. Such pretty paths, and I really like this table. I need to get one of these. I think I have the white plain cloth table. Yeah, it just looks so cozy with the stuff like surrounding the house, mushrooms, little tree stumps, and her outfit's even cozy. It like totally fits the vibe. This person has a fairy grotto, some darker colored roses. I like this person's path layout. There's like a lot of like randomness to the path, and I use this path to the right here for my marketplace, and I still love it. Ooh, I like this diagonal path right here. Really cool layout. How it's like snaking through the terraforming. Alright, now let's look up Fairy Core Animal Crossing. I pretty much expect to see similar screenshots for this, but yeah, like here, it has to do more with like more fantasy-like elements. So the Celeste furniture series definitely adds to Fairy Core themes. Ooh, this is so nice. Look at the mixture of like the mushroom furniture series with a bunch of flower furniture and flowers in general, and then we also have some of these star furniture. I love like the lighting, and I love all the colors in one place. A lot of bright colors in this one. I love the bushes along with the flowers lined up against each other, and just like the background complementing the house. I don't know if you guys know this account Honey Crossing, but I feel like she is like the queen of Fairy Core in Animal Crossing New Horizons. But this image of hers pretty much went viral, and I feel like this image alone kind of inspired people to try out Fairy Core and Cottagecore. At least for me, I saw this and I was like, oh my god, this is freaking beautiful. But yeah, if you like go through her account, she is so good at designing around these concepts. Like just look at this framing. It just looks so good. Not only does Fairy Core look awesome in the day, it looks amazing at night if you have the glowing furniture items like the mushrooms and the star items. Her shop area. Look how much like there's just so much randomness to the paths, you know? That's what makes this look so good. It's just so compact and so many different things just laid out everywhere, from flowers to paths to rivers, tree stumps. This is OD. Oh, this is her updated map. As you can see, you can tell when someone has a cottagecore or Fairy Core map when the water layout is so like jagged and zigzagging everywhere. The river layout and the flowers and sitting on top of these blocks, it's like chef's kiss, you know? It's just so good. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope this inspired you guys to try out some Fairy Core and Cottagecore on your island. I know this is definitely one of my favorite themes to try out. I just think it's such a beautiful concept, and I can see why so many people have fallen in love with designing around these two themes. So definitely encourage you guys to give it a try, and thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.